Prove this video is not AI generated. Yeah? You get it? If you don't get it, forget about it. My name is Martin. My mom called me Mwangi. My dad called me Gethenji. My sister called me Daddie Marto. You can call me Daddie Marto. So, just like I introduced myself, I did not come up with the name Daddie Marto. My sister is the one who came up with the name. For more details on how the name came, subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you can find the specific video. I've explained it very many times before, but it was a name that was given to me and I owned it. Yeah. I always say that my journey is transitional. I know between now and what I have next, I'm going to use everything that I have acquired so far to get me to the next level. So this is my transition to my next thing. I do not know what the next thing will be, but I know what I had before this was I was an actor for TV and films, and I was a director as well and a scriptwriter. Of course, those happened over time. Before I was an actor, then I became a scriptwriter, then I became a director. And at the point of transitioning to this space, I had gotten to the point where I had just performed in the biggest TV show, and that was Suna Johnny. And everybody was like, now you're too famous for us to give you a job. You're too expensive. Everybody knows your face. I was like, hey, okay. So because I know I'm ever in transition, I figured out, okay, what next? So I have all these skills. I have script writing, directing, acting, and a little bit of behind the camera skills. So what do? I figured, okay, we are at home. Let's try and see what we can do at home. And that's how I started my journey in content creation. I just took up all the skills that I have, went to the next phase, transitions. For me, it's don't rest, don't tire. For me, it's don't rest, don't tire. For me, it could be better. For me, there's something else that I can do to achieve more. For me, it's one day, one time, an exact replica of me will appear and people will forget about me. So what do I need to do to make myself better than the old version of me? I am my own competition. I am competing with the previous versions of me. So yes, I'm not devaluing the success I have had to this point. It's just that it's ever growing. I don't know the point I can mark and say this is where I know my success began, because at the point you feel you've gotten success, you get new ideas, you get new dreams, you get new inspirations, because you're like, if I have achieved this, what if I try and go for this other one? Let's go. So again, I don't know whether I've achieved the success yet, but I know there is, but I don't know whether I've achieved it. I don't know if you get what I mean. So when I started this journey, I started it with my family. At the time, it was just me, my son, wife, and then I put out my first video. It was actually from my very first video. My first video said, you know what? You can actually do this. Mainly because you already have the skills that you require to be able to do this. You can curate stories. You can write a script. You can be humorous. You can be emotive. You can draw emotions out from people. So, bang. I know most people don't say that it started with my very first video, because it takes time before you achieve what you need. But owing to the fact that there were all these other skills that I was building, I already had, knowledge in the art, in the craft, without necessarily putting it in this industry of content creation. Yeah, so first video, boom, posted it online. Everybody was like, yeah, okay, not bad. The next call I got was for a job that went for 5 months. I was getting something considerably good at the time per month. So, yeah. One of the things that I pride in is showing up in my authentic self. And I try and advocate that for everybody. Show up in your authentic self. If you have an idea, if you feel that this is how something should be done, instead of complaining that other people are not doing it your way, you do it your way. And then if they see it and they like it, you'll be like, yeah, see me nilikuwa nikiwa show. So, especially in the tech side of things, I have been an avid consumer of tech content, but realized there was none at the time that spoke to me in the Kenyan market. I have been consuming tech ever since I was 5 years old. Those were videos like, for the old people in the house, Japan video topics that used to come in KBC at the time. If you know it, you're old like me. You need to be a father of 7, a mother of 6. But if not, it is still okay. It is still okay. So I chose to, again, bring together all the skills that I have. Because one of the things that I also realized that a lot of techies, so to speak, would do was focus so much on the tech, forget that they are talking to people who want to be emotionally pulled in. So I was like, try and do it your way. How would you do it, Marto, if it were you? Picked up a camera, did my first video. Actually, one of my very first videos on tech, I was not given the job personally as a content creator. I was managing somebody. I was a manager to somebody who was trying out content creation. They were an actor trying out content creation. Did my very first video, and that first job was actually given to me by your wife. She was not your wife then. And then after I did that video with, that actor that I was managing, she was like, okay, try and also do some for yourself. I was like, okay. I tried. I liked what I saw. It's like, okay, I can try and push this. Yeah. Actually, all things considered, that was my very first video. And it still did very well. But I was not doing it as a content creator myself. I was doing it because I had the skills as an actor. And interesting. Interesting revelation right now. So I think I started my content creation journey in 2019. But in actual sense, I started my content creation journey in 2018. Yeah. Interesting. So I'm that old. Yeah. I can't exactly say there are gatekeepers in this industry because the power was taken away from the producers and broadcasters of the content. The only gatekeeper right now are TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. They are the ones who, if they decide they're shutting down their platforms, now you will feel kept. You'll feel kept in the gate. Otherwise, right now you're dealing with your audience. It's what you're able to create, put it out there, and your audience will decide. Unless you have people who have the ability to talk to your 10,000 followers and tell them, don't consume their content. They are no gatekeepers. As a father of 3 children, at the time as a father of 1, I think I have always had self-drive. I don't think that's anything that can be taught. I am not motivated externally to do anything. That all comes from within. I think probably it's how I grew up. My parents did something right somewhere in their lives, in whatever they were imparting in me, that I am always self-motivated to do some of these things. And of course, it gets to a point where there are, like these external factors like children, a family. You must be able to provide for your family as a man of the home. And also the fact that once you start on this journey, if you get your foot off the pedal, you'll be forgotten. And that is not something I want to endure. Yesterday, Every single day, man. Every single day. Like even right now, I'm thinking, God damn, man. But then I'm thinking, there's this guy called Devi and he's given me this video that he's asking for it every 3 seconds. And me, I know it is missing something. Because that's the other thing. I don't put out anything I'm not sure of. But he's over there just calling me, asking me for the content, asking him, I'm like, bro, but just allow me to sit on it and then I'm going to give it to you. It is hard every single day. But that has never stopped me from waking up every single day and still doing it. I'll still wake up. I'll still do it. It will be hard the next day. I will feel like giving up. Sometimes it's good to have external factors to motivate you, of course, like family. Sometimes it is good to have a good team around you to remind you, let me say, hata kama unafeel hivi, you got this. Yeah. So, just like I said before, for me, it's always the quests remain relevant. For me, I always think about what next? What next? Because if you settle in where you are with what you're doing, especially now that we live in the technological age, something will come. Something will definitely come that will kick you out of that space. You have AI doing things right now that are almost throwing graphic designers and storyboard artists out. They are running them out of business because AI has been able to take what they would have taken, costed at premium price, taken as much time as they possibly would need. Now AI is doing it with people. Now are studying prompt engineering. There are people who are teaching people how to ask AI questions. The people who now understand prompt engineering are the ones who are making money. Now, things have shifted and things will always shift. If you stay comfortable with where you are and what you do, something will happen. And I'm not saying do not be satisfied in life, always go for something. No, but for as long as you are in a space where you got the advantage of being where you are because of an advancement somewhere, just know another advancement will come that will push you out of where you are right now. So carve your own niche. I got into the content creation space. I was doing family content. So many families have come and they are doing family content. So what sets me aside? I decided I am going to do tech content. So many other tech content creators have come into that space. So I decided I'm going to do a merger of tech and lifestyle. So many will probably come up one day, one time. But I will always find a way to squeeze myself out of the crowd, walk my own path. Prove this video is not AI generated. Yeah? You get it? If you don't get it, forget about it. Biggest lesson I have learned is liquidity is king. Liquidity is king. Yo, and I am not saying get into debt that you cannot manage. No. I am saying when you're liquid and you're running a business, things move. Sometimes that means getting money that you have not worked for, but it will help you work. Yeah? One of the mistakes I made was I got liquid and I thought, I have spending power. So let me expand. I expanded faster than I had capacity to sustain. At that time, it was possible. I thought, we've been working out of a desk. I think now we need an office. Well, there were needs that necessitated me to need to get an office. My child was almost being born. Work could not continue at home. People needed to move out of home because now you're dealing with a newborn. So, but still, I should have gone for something smaller. Went for an office, put employees there, after the first 9 months, I was like, yo, if I continue like this, I won't be able to grow how I need to grow. So I didn't fail, but I didn't grow. You get what I mean? Because I spent so much in running the office overheads that because I got more employees, got a permanent office space that I was paying per month. But by the end of the year, I had no money. And mimi ni wale wacha nikae na deni ya bank, lakini nisikae na deni ya mtu. Juu bank tutakuwa na agreement. Mtu atanipigia aseme nika hospitali, bibi yangu anaitishwa pesa. Na sasa wewe uko na pesa yangu. It's funny how I feel for those calls, but whenever I call people when they have my money, they don't feel me. What is wrong with this world? Anyway, so I was able to, I had to make decisions. I shut down the office. I unfortunately had to let go of some employees, made my team a bit leaner so I can be able to run things. Work on growth in some areas. Growth in our space sometimes means equipment. You need some piece of equipment here that can help you operate faster, streamline your operations, pay for some subscriptions here and there for the kind of work that we do, etc. Yeah. So, one, liquidity is king. King, liquidity. 2, don't bite off more than you can chew. And then 3, investments should be calculated as part of your expenses. And I mean it this way. See, every month, for example, if you're in employment, you're getting 10K per month. Out of that 10K, you're paying your rent 2K, you're paying for food 3K, you're paying for sherehe 1K. Ongeze investments hapo, your 2K ingine, whatever percentage you want. So that by the time you make this money that has come from the investments, inakuja kukushtua. You're like, oh, I have made something. I thought I was spending something, but I have made something, which is good, But of course, invest diligently. Invest with the people who make sense. Yes, HFM makes sense.
What's your biggest financial blunder?
I am yet to make one.
What prevents you from making one?
I have OCD from here to Timbuktu. I criticize every single thing before I did make mistakes when I was in campus. But then again, that's not life-changing money. For a campus kid, it is. Because those things give me 50K right now, and then at the end of the day, it's going to come back as 70K. So okay. I did trust one of my friends. I think sijui kama ni yeye alioshwa, ama ni yeye aliniosha. Sijawahi jua. That's probably one I would say, hey, there, I lost money. For a campus kid, losing 50,000, that is a lot of money. Right now, of course, I'm not saying that that's an amount I'm comfortable losing. I'm not even comfortable losing 1,000 bob. But the kind of mistakes I would say right now would alter my life. I am so critical before I make the decisions of stepping into them. I am even critical of the partnerships I get into for content creation because I need to be sure, am I willing to be in the same bed with these people? Kikiumana, kunaweza endaje, and such like things. Best financial investment. Financial investments, indeed. Yeah. This is not the point where we say, my kids, it's not that one? Oh, okay. Well, yeah, in terms of assets, it could be my equipment because it has definitely helped smoothen the workflow. I'm taking out probably insurance policies for my kids, education policies. I know sometimes people say that those are not investments, but they should see the insurance policy I have. It is an investment. Yeah. Show up as your authentic self. Don't let anyone step on your dream. Ensure that you have the right people around you. Liquidity is king. Hey, liquidity is king. Liquidity is king. So, like I said, I'm very critical of getting into anything that that requires my money. And especially, there are those that want to make it out that there is nothing we are gaining from it. This is all for you. We have been sent by God to make sure you thrive. That is why even as I was getting into an engagement with HFM, one of the first questions was, so how are you guys making money? Because we know this is a business after all. So one of the things that I always seek to do is to understand what and how. Sometimes the what might not be very important, but the how is the most important. How am I set to make money from this? I'm very critical of those points. I have engaged in the trading space. The very first time I engaged, I had the disadvantage of I was not critical to understand the how. But you see, I made the mistake of not taking time first to try and understand. So the most important thing, and even as you know, HFM also emphasizes education. Learn, educate yourself, get knowledge, understand, research, all these words to mean know what you're doing, know your why, know your what, know your how.